Let me say that again now with the channel open. Welcome to another Creative 7 at 7. It happens. You know, I was so worried about putting the music on, I forgot to put the mic on. It is what it is. Welcome to another live stream. It's Friday, it's 7 o'clock, and here we are once again to talk about a lot of stuff. This week, I'm going to be focusing on the Euro Cup because it started today, and why not? It's a perfect topic. It started today, actually. Italy, Turkey, I think it was, and Italy won 3-0, something like that. You can tell I'm not a huge soccer fan, which is kind of not usual for someone that should be a fan of Portugal and all of that, being, you know, Portuguese background and all that. But I love watching the game. I love it when it's the Euro Cup and when it's the World Cup. But everything else, not my cup of tea. I'm more into this whole design business, and that's what we're here for. So, yeah, we do have a lot of stuff to do with the Euro today. I'm going to just lower the music a little bit. And yeah, we're going to talk about the logo that's currently being used and all of the logos that have been used, the jerseys. What else do I have? There's a whole bunch of things. Just stick around. It's going to be cool. Let's all talk about this. Let's all, create the conversation. I hope you guys are having a great week. And you know what? Let's jump into the first piece of news. And it's going to be from Adobe. Here you go. All right. So the news piece says Adobe Creative Cloud now runs almost twice as fast on Apple's M1 Max. I have to say this is quite interesting. I mean, it got me thinking. Is it really worth getting one of these computers? I mean, if this is in fact true, and if you're a professional that uses Adobe software like I do, it's gonna make you think twice. Let's go check. Let's go see what's going on. By the way, I always have my trustworthy assistant in the back. Anna, say hi. Wave your hand. Say hi. Yee, all right, yeah. She's always there. She's always, she's got my back. Literally, she's right there. And so if you guys during this live stream see me kind of questioning her, or there is someone in the back there, it's not just me going crazy. But let's go back into the news. So if you're an Adobe user, if you're a designer and you use Adobe and you use a Mac, this might be interesting. This might want you kind of like think what kind of computer you want to have with you, and if this M1 chip is the right way to go. Honestly, if it's as good as they say it is, I'm kind of waiting for the M2 because it will come out soon enough. And yeah, I mean, they did a whole bunch of benchmark tests. I don't know. They run this computer through everything and anything. Apparently, they did like just over 700 individual benchmark tests just to get, just to make sure. You want to make sure. So they went through Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign, XD, Premiere, Lightroom, and Lightroom Classic. Whew. That's a lot of stuff. And what caught my eye are these numbers. And I went down to the chart. And when I see 89% more, 65% more, 59, 80, 78, 60, these are all very big numbers. I mean, we're talking about more than double of what you have going on right now. It's kind of impressive. I mean, I already think that the computers are pretty fast as they are, the Intel chip. But man, there's something to be said here with the M1 chip. I think they know what they're doing. I'm just honestly, if it's already benchmarking about 80% faster than the Intel chip, I can't wait to see what they're going to do with the M2. I think it's going to be amazing. So from a production perspective, I mean, these are all things we need to take into account, right? Because if you're working on a job and you can, get some extra help from your software and your computer to get things going a lot faster, that might be good. That might be really good. So instead of using like 5 hours on a job, you can just use 2 hours. Now, can us mere humans continue to do things as quick? I don't know. It's gonna be I think it's gonna get to that point where we don't know. Anyways, moving on. We have a controversial piece of news here, and this is the last one before we head over to the Euro Cup news. This one is all about a new series that Netflix has now, and I've actually watched this first season of this series, and I liked it. It's called Sweet Tooth, by the way, if you guys haven't watched it yet. But what was interesting is the way that they advertised this in USA Today. They actually made, so here it is. They actually made the front page. So they kind of made a fake front page, but it was still the front page of the newspaper. I guess after you open it, you'll realize that that's a fake first page, and then you'll see the actual first page of the newspaper. But here's the thing. It looked like an actual piece of news, and people went bonkers because they believed it. A lot of people believed in this news. We're living through a pandemic, right? I mean, there's certain jokes you need to kind of be careful, because if you're not into this Netflix series and all this stuff, and you never heard of this particular series, you don't know what it's about, and then all of a sudden you're walking down the street and you glance over and you check out the cover of the newspaper and it says hybrid babies born across the US. I can see it. I can see why people are freaking out. And then it looks like an actual piece of news. So yeah, it's and then the fact that they had the pictures of these babies, they look pretty realistic, right? So it was just like I can imagine some people freaking out. Like, let's put it that way. It's quite something. And so there other articles that I read about this, they were mentioning that newspapers can't really create pieces of advertising that will kind of confuse people, and that's where everything is kind of divided into two sides here. Some people are saying they shouldn't have done this. This is very confusing, especially during a pandemic or the end of a pandemic or whatever. And it looks exactly like a news piece. If you don't know what the whole series is about, you're gonna probably believe this. This is not good. Other people think that they were geniuses and like, damn, they really that's awesome. The way that they put it together, it looks really cool and it's awesome. So I don't know. Let me know what you think. I personally, I love it. I think it's a great idea, but I also understand that might not have been the right time to do something like this, right? And this is where you need to be a little bit sensitive to your audience and to what's happening in the world. And a lot of times you see this, especially in social media, a lot of people not caring about what's going on in the world, and they just continue doing their posts like nothing is happening, and they're insensitive to what's going on around them. And that's not the best move to do in any type of marketing. And I think as much as this is an amazing piece of ad, I think it's the wrong time to do it. Just my 2 cents. And this series is, I don't want to, no spoilers here, but it is about, a virus, a pandemic, something that happened in the world, and thus the change in the babies and all that. And I won't say any more, but it's very close to what's going on today. So it's a little bit insensitive to kind of put this smack in the front page of a newspaper. That, think about it this way, a lot of people don't buy newspapers anymore. They just kind of glance over the first page. They just keep on walking, but they pick up what was on that first page. They're gonna freak out, man. So you got to be careful with this. I see this time and time again, people, designers that forget about the world that's around them, and you need to stop doing that. You need to pay a little bit of attention. So that's that. Look at this. It looks pretty cool. I have to say, it looks cool, but it's the wrong timing. I think it's the whole wrong timing for this kind of thing. Let me know what you guys think. Are you in favor or not? Do you like it? Do you think it was in poor taste? Let me know. All right. So now we're going to move on to the Euro Cup. I don't have any sound effects for soccer, but pretend that I do, and we'll go from there. So Y&R, they designed the Euro 2020, and this is where there's a little bit of confusion going on, because the Euro was supposed to happen last year, but because of the whole pandemic situation, they had to delay it. So it is technically Euro 2020 played in 2021. You see what I'm going with. Okay, you got it, right? All right. So they designed the logo, and there's actually it was a Young and Rubicam was the agency that's took care of this. And what I was looking at is I kind of skipped this part when I was reading the news, and now I'm looking at it. They're in Portugal. I mean, yay. So they actually put together a little video here, and this video is actually pretty cool, explaining the whole logo and branding of this thing. So we're just gonna play this in the back, but it's pretty cool. If you guys want to check this out, it's on creativeblock.com. I found this article that includes this, but it looks like they just took this off of the UEFA official Twitter feed. And I love the animation style. I love the colors that they put into this. It's so nice. It just, everything just falls together very, very nicely. So now, you know, it's being played in a lot of different cities as opposed to just in one place because of this whole delay thing. Music is loud. And it's all about the unity and between all of these cities that are hosting the Euro. And they're talking a lot about bridges. So that's why you have that part at the bottom of this little video that's always like a little bridge, and that's actually going to be incorporated in the logo afterwards. We're going to check that out. So I love the continuity. I love the connection that they've made throughout all of this. Essentially, you know, that the bridge is really the common denominator for the whole thing. That's what it says there on the article. But yeah, this is kind of like the presentation video that they created for the branding and the logo, which I find it to be quite cool. It's very nice. So they're obviously using all the colors of the logo and the branding. Style is really nice. And the fact that they had to showcase every single city that is the games are being played is quite interesting, that they could do that into this video. And that's the logo right there. That's the logo. So nice. Euro 2020. It's got nice colors. It's got nice everything. So here's you know, a couple of ways that they've utilized the branding of it in some places. I think this is in London. And so that kind of got me going, and I wanted to kind of research a little bit more, and I actually found the logo guideline for this logo. So this is essentially the book that tells you how the logo is designed, what's the background, what was the goal, what you can do with it, what you can't do with it. This is why you pay the big bucks when you're getting a logo from an actual designer. They'll go the extra mile, and they should be doing something similar to what I'm going to show right now, which is essentially a little booklet, a little guideline for your logo, so that you can pass that along to other people or make it available on your website. I think most people should be making that available on their website if they know that the logo is going to be used in other companies for like sponsorships, or they're just going to use it for something else, just to make sure that people who are going to grab this logo aren't going to do any of the things that they are going to mention not to do. So that's, for me, it's one of the most important parts, is like, don't do this to the logo, please. We've, you know, taken a lot of time to get this created, so don't just think you're gonna screw it up. So they start off by the brand inspiration, and again, it's talking about the whole history and all of the cities that the games are going to be played in. And the inspiration, they talk about bridging Europe, so that idea of the bridges, where it came from. It was a nice way that they kind of came up with in order to connect all of these cities that are hosting the games. And the official marks, obviously they have the logo type, and the word mark, which are the next page. No, it was on the next one. Anyways, but the logo here, it's pretty cool how they explained certain parts of it. So you do have the logo on the left side, which is the actual logo in color. That's the way it is. And then to the right side, you see, the different elements, the important elements of it. You see on the top part, you see the cup right there in the center, and you see the fans in the back when you look at the bottom part. And then they even showcase why it has that little bridge there, because of the whole unity thing that they have going on. Really smart. I think it's a really clean and nice looking logo for sure. Then they break it down. They even go, okay, this is the symbol, that's the legal notice, that's the arc, that's the name, just in case you didn't figure it out. Then you have your full logo, the logo type, and the word mark as well. So that's pretty cool. These are the 3 different ways that you can use this. They showcase how it's going to look like when it goes into a very dark background or a black. Essentially, in this case, all that changes is really the font part of the logo is going to be in white. All the rest should stay the same color. And then they even showcase a couple of different examples, which is a full color, a 7 color, a 5 color, which is an interesting one. That one is you don't usually see that a lot. But they did that on here. So and where they got rid of a couple of the colors were on the fans. So you can see that the fans only have, so this is the middle one, right? The 5 color. It only has 2 colors on the fan side. It's the blue and the orange, while they had a purple and a yellow on the original one. Obviously the full color has the gradients and makes it pop a little bit more. Then you have the flat one color, and they're using an actual Pantone color for that. And then you have your black, so that you can use as well. With the black or dark background, they're also showcasing how those would look like. Again, they chose to go, it's not a quite white, I believe, unless my eyes are kind of screwing with me, but it's a little bit of it's a light gray that they have on the logo at the bottom in the Euro 2020 part. The white only is the far right one. That's all in white. You can also use it on the landscape version. So this is essentially, so if you're planning on getting a logo design, this is what you should be getting when you approve your logo, right? The company or whoever you hire to do your logo should be giving you something like this. Landscape versions, again, they go through the full color, 1 color, whatever, all of that kind of stuff. The logo type, again, they're showcasing that. So it's really making sure that people have every single bit of information of what you should do with the logo, so that you don't screw it up. But they want to step ahead, and they actually showcase what you shouldn't be doing. But before that, they're showcasing, that the legal notice, so the TM, the trademark, should be always in that certain position. The amount of space that you have. This is an important one, because I freaking hate it when I look at a brochure or something and people are not paying attention to the spacing around the logo, and they just start. Anyways, don't do that. Make sure that you have the right space around the logo, and in this case, there's always an element. In most cases, there's an element of the logo that they use to create that space around. So in this case, they're using the 0, and that's basically the width all around that you're going to create. That's a pretty smart way of doing it. Now, do not. What does it say here? Do not move any element within the symbol or logo type. Yeah, don't start being a designer with somebody else's logo. The other thing, don't change the colors. Most definitely. Don't do that. Don't crop the symbol. Absolutely not. Don't flip it. Well, that's a duh. That's obvious. Careful with the backgrounds. Don't put it onto a background that's way too busy. And don't use without the trademark. It's there for a reason. This is the biggest pet peeve of mine. The next one is distorting the logo. I hate it when people do that. You know, you create a logo that's all nice and perfect, and then somebody just goes, they decide to just kind of skew it and do whatever they want. And the last one that the big no-no here is don't grab another font and try to recreate the logo. That's just stupid. Don't do that. So essentially, you know, it's not a huge book. I think it's like 23 pages. That's what it says there. I mean, covers and back covers and all that's probably like about 19 pages of information. But this is something that if you're a designer, you should get. If you're a client and you're looking to get a logo done, this is something that you should be getting from your designer as well, so that you know exactly what to do and what not to do with your logo. And this is something that you can ship over to whoever's using your logo for a poster or any kind of an ad that you might be doing with them, so that they know what not to do. That's right. Moving on is, I also thought, you know, let's look back at the logos that when this whole thing started and how it's been evolving up until this last one that we just looked at. So started in 68, from 68 to 92, and remember this is going every 4 years, kind of stayed the same. So all the only real change that they were doing was the flags, on the top. So wherever the country was being, wherever the Euro was being played, that's basically the country, the flag that was up there. Then in 96 they decided to change it up, and that's where things started getting interesting. This one was in the Euro 96 in England, and they changed it up. It was interesting. I don't quite understand what's going on there. It looks like a little guy, but he's like a fat little dude, and that's probably a little ball there at the bottom of it. I don't know. Anyways, moving on. 2000, Belgium and the Netherlands. They, I remember this one clearly. I don't know why, but I remember this logo. It was, it's memorable, but it's not the best. Dare I say? I don't know. And then in Portugal, I do remember this one. I don't know why I would remember this one. Of course I do. It was the Euro 2004 in Portugal. Very nice. I mean, that heart. Look at that. It's beautiful. I'm not being biased here. And then we move on to 2008. And this one, is it weird that I didn't remember this one? Now, obviously, after looking at this, I'm like, oh, yeah, that's right. I couldn't remember that one. Like, it's weird. I don't know why. This one I do remember. The Poland and Ukraine in 2012. The flowers and the ball. I think this was a nice one. This was very classy. I liked it as well. France, they were going with the cup. They did the color things. It was okay. It was good. And this is where you start noticing the consistency with the bottom part. Up until 2004, the bottom portion of it, where they have the year, they kind of were doing whatever they felt like. And then I think it was in 2008 that they started saying, no, listen, we need to start creating something that's consistent here. So you do see more similarities between 08 and 12, in which obviously the logo part on the top is being changed, but the bottom, they're now starting to kind of keep it more or less the same way. And you definitely see that now in going into 2016. They kept that bottom part the same. And then obviously going back to the 20, they left it the same way. So they are leaving that part very, very consistent. And I'm guessing that from here on, you'll see that consistency going on in terms of the logo. And obviously, another big part of the Euro is not only the logo, is also the jerseys. Obviously, everybody always talks about the jerseys, and you have to wear a jersey, and you got to support your team and wear the jersey. So there's so many teams here. I'm gonna go very quickly. They have the t-shirts or the jersey that they wear when they're playing at home, and the other one when they're playing in somebody else's field. So we've got Turkey. We've got, this one is Switzerland, and you can see it's got a nice little thing here. This one is actually pretty nice. They're simple. This one is simple, but it's pretty nice. Then we have Italy. Italy actually has 3 jerseys this year. They have the blue and the white version, but they also have, and I want to know why they have this. See if there's an explanation here. It doesn't say a thing. They just decided to have three jerseys. Okay, but this one is actually nice. I like this one. There's something to that one. Here we have Wales. Nice red, nice yellow. Nothing crazy about these. Finland. Again. Then we move on to Russia. Denmark. I'm just gonna skip through these really quickly. Well, that's weird. That's very different. Anyways, there's a lot. You guys can figure this out. There's so many of these. I'm gonna spend so much time doing this. The point is, we're gonna move on to the YouTube part of this show, and we're gonna talk about the YouTube channel of UEFA, which is the official one. It was kind of tricky to find the official one. There's so many channels out there now with the UEFA. Obviously, people want to get subscribers and all that kind of stuff. But this is the official one. It's essentially UEFA. So if you go youtube.com/UEFA, that's the one that you want to be looking at, and it's pretty cool. It's got a lot of interviews, and what I like what they did here is they actually introduced, or they tried to kind of showcase the cities where they're going to be playing, which is kind of a cool thing. And they actually present the teams, and they go through all the qualifying goals. There's so much. I mean, if you're a soccer fan, this channel is just amazing to look at. There's just a lot of information here for ya. And because we're talking about the UEFA and the Euro, we're going to go right into the podcast. Obviously, they have a podcast. It's the official UEFA Champions League podcast. Again, if you're a fan, this is it. This is the place to be. They're very good. I listened to a bit of one of the episodes, and these guys are top notch. They know what they're talking about. Really, really interesting commentaries about the games, the players, everything. So if you're a soccer fan, this is definitely one podcast that you want to listen to for the next month. This thing is going on until July 11th, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, that's it. That's it for today. This was a nice, quick little episode here on the Creative 7 channel. I always like to bring something interesting and relevant in terms of the logo designs and the brandings and all of that. And I thought that the Euro Cup is it just started today, so couldn't have been better. I'm betting that they planned their first game around the show, and that's why everything worked out perfectly. Hope you guys liked it. If you guys have any comments, just leave them below, and we'll be back here on Friday to go over some more news, some more design tips, some more whatever it comes around. So thank you for being here, and I'll catch you on the next one.